Hello everyone, welcome to a new process video today. I'm working on my photos from Prague and I have a 4x6 insert on this side, and then over here I have a standard 6x8 pocket page. And I have some interesting things to work in here. I've already picked out some background paper that I think will go with all of this. And then this just happens to be something that I picked up in a little shop while I was in Prague. We were just wandering around, came across a little store and thought, oh, they had some interesting things in the window. So we went in and I actually found several things to use for scrapbooking. And this was one of them. And I assume it's supposed to be a bookmark, I think. It's not a magnet or anything. There's nothing on there, but I think it's supposed to be a bookmark, and then this sticks out the top. But I thought, hey, I could scrap with that. So I think what I'm going to do is take this and apply it right to the paper here, maybe flush with the bottom, and kind of just have it as a cool design element over here. And then on this side, I've already picked out my card too. I knew I wanted something in kind of a yellowy, goldish yellow tone so that would go together. This is the only photo that I have. This is the John Lennon pub in Prague. We actually ended up eating there a couple days later. But on this day, we were just looking for the Lennon wall, and we happened to pass it because it's right down the street. And then this is a 2x2 square that I cut out that I want to use because I just thought the area around the pub was so cool. It's definitely old world Prague. It's in the Malastrana area, which is the older part of town for sure. So I wanted to use this. However, I don't have a background for it, and I'm not sure what color I want to use. I'm thinking maybe green because there's a bright green here. There's green in the background with the flowers, but I also kind of like that little bit of pink that's poking out here, which is also in the flowers and right here. So I think I'm just going to go through my stash, pull out some options, and see what happens. So to adhere this, I'm going to use my mono liquid glue. And it normally would say that here, but my label fell off, so I don't have it anymore. But it goes on white so that you can kind of see where you're putting it, and then it dries clear. So I love that. In case I get a little too much on there, I get a little glue happy, and it oozes out around the edges or something, it will still be okay because you won't see it once it's dry. All right, so that should be enough on there. And then I want to position it a little more to the left. I don't like it at true center. I'll line it up as best I can. And then just press it down a little to make sure that glue is making good contact. There we go. So now I will just let that sit for a little bit as it dries. So I've picked out a few options. I went for pink first, and these are the two that I picked, and I love the color of them both. This one's a little bit of a bolder pink, almost like a fuchsia, so it's a little bit darker than this tone of pink, but I like the way it looks, and that this one in particular kind of mimics the lines that are on the journaling card, but it is pretty bold. This one I like because the stripes are diagonal. They're offset. My only concern here is, does it compete with this paper? But when you put this on there, it does tone it down a bit, and I like the color. It really brings out the pink here. So I'm thinking about it. And then I pulled two greens. This one is technically a solid, but not really. It has a very, very subtle pattern in it, and it's almost an olive green, which matches this here. Again, brings out the green tones. But then I like this one with the leaf pattern because it really brings in the green. Both tones here, it pulls this, and you get the top over here. So I'm having a really hard time. I like all of these, but I have to make a decision. So I think I've decided to go with this one. I really like the flower or the leaf pattern because I think it brings out the leaves of the plants there, and I love that the color is such a good match. They are both patterns, but for some reason to me it doesn't feel like they compete. I really like the way it looks actually, so I think I'm going to go with this one, and I'm going to adhere it before I change my mind. So as I was looking at this, I decided to switch these pockets. When this was over here, these A's are very similar, the style of them, and the color is very close. And I felt like that was too much of that bold color close together. So I'm gonna move this one to this pocket, put this one on the left, and then it really draws the eye with the green kind of in a triangle there. And I really like the way the color is separated when I look at it more this way. So I'm gonna keep it in this configuration. Now the other thing is that when I went into my stash of embellishments, I found this. It's just a little piece of flair that's pink with a little arrow, but I thought that pink is pretty perfect. Where can I put it? So I'm trying to figure out, like, should I put it down here in this dead space and kind of lead the eye to say, yep, now we're going to turn the page, we're going to look at the next thing. Should I put it over here somewhere on this card somehow? I'm not sure. So I'm going to think about that, and when I make my decision, I'll be back. I've made the choice to really spread the pink around the page. If I place it here, it's not completely aligned with the A. I like it a little off center, but then it brings in a visual triangle again. I have pink, pink, pink. Either of these where you're looking, it works well with the design. So I'm going to put that there. And normally when I apply these, I just use glue dots when it's a flat back surface like that. You probably could use this same mono glue on there, but I just tend to use glue dots, and I've never had a problem with them falling off later. So I've decided that I want to do something on the upper edge of this photo because it's kind of blank. There's some dead space there. And I figured to bring in more color, I would pull out my big bag of labels here. And I have selected this one actually. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp in the white area, cut off the top pink so that when it overlaps the photo, you just see the white and then the bottom stripe of pink. And it'll bring in just a little bit of this color again. It still works with the triangle because it's in the same area. I think that'll work well. And then I've decided to use this stamp set. This is a new one I just got recently from Citrus Twist. And I think I'm going to use this stamp right at the top that says "No place like this." I held it up there already to make sure it would fit. And it's tight. It's going to be edge to edge, so I have to be careful when I stamp it, but I think it'll look good. I completed the stamping and it came out great. So I have adhered it here. And now I'm just going to cut off what goes right along the edge. There we go. Don't need that. All right. So that's what it looks like there. And you know what? I think it needs a mini staple. Normally I'd go at the top, but there isn't room there. So I'm going to go in the pink area as close to the middle as I can. Oh, am I out of staples? Nope. They're just being weird. You know, I bought this one and replaced a previous one I had that, I'm just checking to see if it's stuck in there. Oh, I do see one stuck in there. That I bought this to replace it because it was driving me crazy. So I hope this one doesn't start having problems too. So I was able to get the crunch staple out of there and I put in a new one. So that part is done. And I think I'm just going to put everything in the pockets and see if I'm satisfied with this or if I need to add more. So here's the layout in the pockets. So here's a close-up of the left side. Not much to it, but I think this is enough. I don't want more. And then close-up of the right side. Not too much added, but just enough. And I like it. I think this one's done. So sometimes less is more, and this is a case for that. So thanks for watching, everyone.